I'm here today with Dr. Dr. Antoine Karam, curator, piano concertist. Watch this interview with him and he will be revealing many things about his endeavor with the arts and about his own activities. Dr. Tony, what's happening now? What are you doing in Dubai?
Hey, look, Dubai is an interesting project. It came about during a visit that I did to Dubai in October. I was doing something on a private business thing, and I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton. I had spoken about the idea of maybe doing an exhibition in Dubai somehow, maybe associated with the Ritz-Carlton, the IFC, with a GM, because we happened to be attending a wedding once and we talked. But it was just an idea. So when I went in October, we actually, developed that idea a little bit more. And there was a lot of positivity on their end. But of course, there was, logistics and how's it going to be done and all that, all those interesting details.
Yes, that can make it happen or
it can
impossibilate
make or break it. Exactly,
yes.
It can make or break it. We spoke for several hours on and off. I'm not going to go through the details, but when you're dealing with an institution as luxurious as the Ritz-Carlton, there are certain things you have to, respect, let's say. First of all, you have to respect their vision. You have to respect what they view as the exhibition to be. And at the same time, there's a mutual respect from their end to our vision of how things are supposed to be. And we sort of clicked and we made it happen. So basically what's going to happen is that we're going to have an exhibition on February the 22nd. That's the opening day. It's going to start at 7 p.m. And it's going to involve a group of artists from Lebanon, Lebanese artists. I decided to take 17 artists with few pieces, few artworks, 2 to 5 pieces each. We're in the process now of shipping everything to Dubai and going through the logistics of how it's going to be done. And the nice thing about it, and we're thankful for the Ritz for doing this, is that they offered to do the exhibition for 1 whole month, which is very interesting because it gives people, time to come and see it and interact with the pieces, etc. And this is during peak times in Dubai. As you know, February, March, that's peak. And they're at almost full capacity occupancy. So the exposure is amazing. For us to be in Dubai, it's amazing. We're always grateful for the UAE for supporting the Lebanese at many levels. That's exactly what's going to happen. And so to bring together also 17 big names in the art field is not easy. But thank God, I'm trusted. The artists trust me. And basically, some of them just gave me their works with no questions asked, basically. And so I'm grateful for them. And we should be all proud to be able to do such projects every now and then. This is not my first international project, but it's one of my biggest.
So you mentioned you've exhibited abroad and took Lebanese artists. Where did you exhibit before and how was the result?
Look, the first project that I did overseas with Lebanese artists was the one that we did at the Peoria Riverfront Museum in Peoria, Illinois, and that was 2 years ago. And it was at a time where I was being asked to do a piano concert there. I had done one 2 years earlier. So we were just coming out of the port blast explosion, etc. So I didn't want to do it because of that. But yet you can't say no to a museum. So I came up with the idea of why don't we couple it to an art exhibit since they're a museum. And if they agree to that, I'll agree to the concert and we'll talk. And they were very positive about it and, in terms of supporting Lebanese artists, etc. And we did that. At the time, we took 26 artists to the museum, and we exposed 150 works almost. So that was my first experience. But the good thing is that it gave me a lot of confidence because, the experience you get with working with curators who are at the level of a museum is not the same as dealing with just a regular, I don't want to undermine their work, but a regular curator is not a curator who works at a museum. They weed out, certain pieces in such a way that's totally different than what we're used to.
Okay.
So it gave me a lot of, confidence that they actually liked my proposals. They approved my artists that I proposed with no hesitation. And it wasn't just because they wanted it to support the Lebanese for whatever reason. No, they wanted a high caliber end show, which we gave them.
They approved,
They approved.
all the paintings?
Yes. I proposed 30, and we ended up taking 26 because of limitations of space. And they created the whole wing for us. They actually renovated the whole wing in the museum for Lebanese art. So that was 2 years ago. And, after that, we did something in New York, again, in collaboration with the Lebanese American University. And all of these works were eventually auctioned off, be it in New York or in Peoria, to help patients in Lebanon who cannot get medical care because of the economic crisis.
Okay.
So I always couple things. When I do something with the artists, it's either to benefit the artists or to benefit someone. We don't do anything for our own personal gain. The whole aim of art is to please and give positivity and all that, and I take it to the extreme. And many times, even if the artist deserves to be seen but cannot be seen, I end up supporting them somehow or making it happen, which is what's happening also in Dubai, for example. There are costs associated with all of these things, and I can't do it all on my own. So the artists are pitching in, but even for some who probably cannot do it fully, I support in such a way that maybe, buy a piece or whatever, and then we make it happen. So this is what I do.
That's amazing. That's very noble. I went to one of your concerts.
Yes.
And you mentioned something very important. Don't limit your child or don't limit yourself into deciding on one thing.
Yes.
We can take it an example from your own practice. Mm-hmm. You're a doctor, full-time doctor, and concert pianist. And you have a whole activity of supporting and curating art exhibitions. How did this evolve? And what can people learn from so many things that you're doing?
Look, let's start with music and academics. Music and academics, they work in parallel with me. I started out playing the piano when I was 2.5. My parents developed it for me, meaning they supported me, they bought a piano, they got me a teacher, blah, blah, blah. Now, yes, you need a gift to be able to perform in public or to memorize what I memorize, but okay, I have it, so I'm not gonna pretend that I don't. But without the support of the parents, I wouldn't be where I am today regarding that. But let's take this and put it as a similarity between somebody who's, let's say, a bank manager, but likes to swim. They can become an Olympic swimmer, and it doesn't interfere with the fact that they eventually studied business and became bankers. So why is it any different when it comes to me playing the piano and then enjoying my classes at school and wanting to study biology and eventually medicine, blah, blah, blah? I never saw it as a conflict. It was always from people's point of view is that, okay, it has to be this or that. And I never agreed with that because I always saw myself as both. You can't change who I am. So by the time I got into high school and graduated from high school, I graduated at the age of 15.5 because of many reasons, but I was good at school and I had the opportunity to finish early. And by then I had given so many concerts, be it in Lebanon or overseas. And so I had these two careers on my plate and I did not want to choose one or the other. I just simply didn't. So I said, okay, I'm going to become a doctor and I'm going to continue the piano on the side. And whenever they conflict, then I'll decide. Well, they never conflicted. The only time I backed away a little bit from music is when I got to third year medical school. That's when you start going to hospitals and you don't have time. I was playing 3 hours a day every day. You stop having time to practice. So it was okay to back out. And it turned out to be to my advantage, because by the time I finished my specializations and all that stuff, basically I came back and I wanted to become a famous doctor independent of my fame as a pianist. And I was studying in the States, so I had left Lebanon, so the fame kind of faded away a little bit. And then by the time I came back, it's a new generation that you're dealing with. So I developed my, academic, medical profession and reputation on its own. And 10 years later or 15 years later, I decided, look, I'm now a famous doctor. I don't need people to say they're coming to me because I'm a famous, pianist. So I came back to the scene. I never really left between me and myself, but in public, people see it a little bit differently. So that's music and medicine. No conflict whatsoever. Now, the art thing, again, on a personal level, let's go back to the banker who's a swimmer, okay? Can't they enjoy going to the movies? Can they enjoy buying an art piece? Can they enjoy driving a nice car? They might. So we as human beings have different facets to us. We just sometimes ignore them. So I have a facet that I enjoy a beautiful painting. And when I was growing up and couldn't afford it, I used to buy prints and put them on the wall. And then, when you become a doctor, you start a little bit, you buy the first little painting, and then you go a little bit bigger. And, as your success grows, you can afford to go a little bit more on, getting some extravagant pieces. And all of this I was doing on my own. And I am an art collector. I collect art. And I collect also, ancient, antique things. And, it's a hobby. And then Corona hits and COVID and all that, fiasco. Everybody's sitting at home and everybody's depressed. And on top of Corona, in Lebanon, we got hit by an economic crisis, like no one has ever experienced. So the depression in people's lives became multiplied by 100. So I looked at myself and I said, okay, yes, I am a little bit down because of all of that's happening. However, I'm not as down as others. And when I reflected internally, it was probably because I could let go of some of my emotions through the music. And when I was looking around in my house, I enjoy the paintings that I have. So I said, why can't I move this to the next level and have people enjoy art publicly? I'm in good connections with most galleries, most exhibition places. They respect me, I respect them, I love them, they're all my friends. And I thought, if I can make this connection between artist and gallery or artist and exhibition place, and we do a show, then everybody is going to come, even if they don't buy anything, because the aim is not to buy. The aim is to go and enjoy. Or for the artist, recognition, which is a very big positive self-esteem boost, okay? It boosts your ego to kind of say that, look, people came and looked at my stuff. Whether they like it or not is a different situation, but at least I'm exposed. So this is what we did. And we actually were lucky that, COVID started fading away. People were starting to come out of their houses again. Yeah. And so we did that. And we did that around town in Beirut. We did it, in Spain. We did it in other places. And, people had a very, very positive feedback about everything that we did.
I find it very interesting. It's on the spot. And you're not just selling a theory. You live that. And you're Correct. A living example of, you don't have to just stay with one career and throw away your talent, your liking, what you love to do. At the same time, you don't have to embrace only what's your passion and stay broke.
Right.
You can have a combination that gives this amazing result. And since I got to meet you, I see you in every single exhibition. your effort into curating, you're effectively there. So you're not selling just, oh, I'm a philanthropist and just have the name there. You're actively doing that. And you're going to Dubai and you did the deal and you're having all the support and also the responsibility to do that, which very few gallerists can do that.
Look, again, I'm not in competition with anyone, and the point is not to shine a light on me. A lot of people don't understand that, and it's a good thing that we're talking in public about this.
Okay.
Let me make it very clear. Yes, I go to most exhibitions. I can't say all because I'm a doctor. I don't have the time, but I try. If I don't go on openings, I go like later on or before the opening. People know this because we support everybody. And even when I have a show or an exhibition, let's say you're an artist, Elio, and I'm doing a show for you. Even on opening night, I don't stay the whole time. My love ends once I put everything on the wall.
I know.
But then I stay for a little bit because people come to see me. But at the end of the day, I, respectfully bow out and leave the artist there because it's their moment. It's not mine.
Okay.
Even in Dubai, yes, I'm going to be there on the 22nd, but I'm not going to be the spotlight. I'm going to be in the shadows. The spotlight is the 17 artists. So again, good galleries do that. They don't sit there promoting their gallery. They promote the artists that they're exhibiting for. Okay? Now, I don't want to compare myself to anybody. I would hope that everybody would take my way and apply it, because then everybody wins. Because if my artist wins in their exhibition, meaning they get the recognition, again, we're not talking finances.
Okay.
Okay? People have this notion that an exhibition is successful if it sells out. No, it's not. Because many of our exhibitions sold out after the exhibition, like a year after the exhibition. People still talk about some of the exhibitions we did a year ago, that, oh my God, this is a beautiful thing. People sometimes don't want to go and buy something on the spot, but eventually it works out. So this is the vision that everybody should have. I'm not preaching, I'm just saying that's how I think. And that's what I do, and a lot of people don't understand that. And I hope that they eventually do understand it, because this is what should happen.
I understand you totally, because there are two distinct things: the art market and the art as a culture.
Correct.
And doing an exhibition, showing art, it's a very essential part of establishing a culture, establishing a moment.
Yes.
Because we don't live only, unfortunately, people are living in front of screens now.
Yes.
But you need to exchange, you need to have the culture happening in letter, in words, and also in shapes and colors and expression, and this connection with the artist in seeing their work live. And this established this moment, and also it's the history for the future. And it's not only about selling or buying or how much or as an investment. And I see it as art, as a culture.
Yes, let me also take it in a different direction.
Okay.
It's the same concept. When I come and visit you at your home, the minute I walk in, I have this impression, whether I'm happy, comfortable, not comfortable, etc., etc. Okay, you can talk to me over a video or over whatever forever. I won't get that impression, and the reason, medically speaking, now, we see in 3D. A screen is a 2D thing.
Yes.
So, as an artist, Elio, when you look at a painting on a picture, it's not the same as when you see it live. And you can't explain it why. Even with the best phones with the highest resolutions, it's not the same. It has to do with that 3D perception, you seeing
your own eyes.
Exactly. So this 3D thing that I'm talking to you about is very important. Also, there's the human interaction with something, be it with the artist or being even with the canvas itself. You can't interact the same on a screen. So what I'm trying to bring to people in those exhibitions that we do is the exact same feeling you get when you see your painting on your wall in your home. that moment is when you feel happy. And when people come to our exhibitions and they leave, which is the same as other exhibitions as well, they tell us, thank you for isolating us from our environment and taking us into a direction that made us feel alive. They don't know why. I can't explain it why, except with what I just told you. But at the end of the day, that feeling, that moment is what I'm after.
Yes.
And this is what I try to explain to the artists as well. If I talk to an artist and they tell me, oh my God, I want to sell, or, you know, I'm not selling or whatever, I'd rather not work with them, honestly.
They're just hungry for the money, for the...
That's not the point. The point is you becoming someone on the map. And here I would like to thank, by the way, the Lebanese American University for opening their doors last year and putting us in an academic place to do exhibitions at. And that's thanks to the Dean of Arts and Science, who's now, you know, left the country, Katia Jnainati, who opened this for us. And, you know, they were not on the art scene map. And all of a sudden, a year later, they're number one because of what we did. Number one, meaning, you know, they did the most shows and they're the most ones that were written about, you know, and all the things. So that's amazing. And everybody who got involved in that circuit was happy at that. I don't have a single artist or a single person that came to see our shows who was not happy. You know, with the exception of those who get jealous sometimes. You know how it is. But like
you always have the extremes.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a shame. They shouldn't think this way.
I understand. Despite everything, whatever happens, there's always the 80-20. You know, always have like 10% of the people.
We're at 95-5, but that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're registering history. You're making history in the cultural concept I'm talking.
I hope so. And when you do that, people, you know, look at you in different perspectives sometimes. There are those who understand what's going on and they praise you. And then there are those who have no clue what's happening and they try to attack you. They can't reach you, but the thing is they try. And at the end of the day, we end up ignoring, but I'd rather assimilate them and bring them to me rather than, you know, react. I don't react.
Okay.
Eventually, they're going to get it. Because
with time, they will. Your reaction is going to be.
I mean, they'll get it.
Answer.
You know, again, we're here for positive movement across the board.
Yeah.
You know, look, my dad once said something that I kept with me. I was young when he said that, and basically he said he was in the banking business, and so he said to move up in the world, you got to push others around you to move up. If you're somebody who tries to destroy everybody so that you shine, effectively, you're not going to move up. You have to push people up so that you move up with them, etc. That's what you do, and that's what I do. It's like artists who are exposed, let's say, with us. Let's say now the 17 artists that are exposed in Dubai, okay? Some of them don't need this exposure. They already have their own. Yet they're participating. So they're pushing people up with them, right?
Yes. You mentioned it's about putting the Lebanese artists in this map, in this city.
Yes. And even you as an artist who's sitting at home not participating, let's say, with me, okay?
I get.
You're going to be part of the recognition of Lebanese artists exposing in Dubai at the Ritz-Carlton. And thanks again to the Ritz and to the GM, Chris Khoury, who was amazing, you know, putting this thing together. So all of this is helping everybody, those who are on board with us, those who are supporting us, those who are going to be supporting, you know, us in the future, or we're going to be supporting them, and even those who are trying to, like, you know, fire at us every now and then. They're benefiting, but that's okay.
They're the minority.
It's okay.
But they make a lot of noise.
It's okay. They can make noise.
Yeah.
We can deal with noise.
What we're talking about, you mentioned how many paintings will be in this space?
In Dubai, we're going to have 60 artworks.
60 artworks. Amazing.
Yes. Between paintings and sculptures and photography.
Okay. Yeah.
And all kinds of, you know, it's not like all abstract or all portraits or, you know, there's a mix of everything because we want to showcase a sample of what this country can
what's happening
produce.
here, and it's really noble from you of really effectively taking and going and with your own hands and doing the work of, you know, dedicating. It is satisfying for you, I presume.
Yes, but I want to clarify something. It's not just me. I have a team.
Okay.
And that team is not a work team. Okay? They're friends.
And they have
So
the passion of...
my friends who are close to me, some of whom are artists and some of whom are, you know, PR people and some of whom are gallerists and some of whom are art, you know, it's a teamwork. And so this team is making this happen. It's not me. I sort of give directions and kind of have my vision. But yes, sometimes I take things myself, okay? So this is the first thing. And so, yes, we make things happen.
It's important because we come from a small country. It's a small country. We need to recognize, but it's big in its culture.
Yes.
And people they would enjoy to get to know more about the Lebanese art, not only the soap opera or the music. Actually, the visual arts is very important. It's very vibrant here. And it's very good that you're taking this amount of art all together to be in Dubai.
Look, part of this also is being humble, and being humble carries on to everything in life. We recognize we're a small country. We recognize we're a small, you know, bunch of people doing art. And we do realize we have a big culture which is bigger than our geographical map, but we're not the biggest in the world. Let's make this clear. So this ego thing that sometimes the Lebanese have, you know, should not exist, okay? We are humble, we know where we are, we know how we are in comparison to, you know, European art and American art and Asian art and all kinds of art. We know where we stand. But we also know that we can go head to head in many places and with different forms of art, etc. So we know exactly where we are, and we got the recognition from the highest authorities in museums around the world. So it's not me saying this.
Yeah, selling your own.
When I tell you something, I back it up with facts.
Okay.
So, for example, we mentioned the museum who approved 26 artists to exhibit within their doors. Try to do that in the US. You can talk to the biggest artists in Lebanon. I was talking to one of them, and I won't name who said his dream is to put one painting in a museum.
And he's big.
He's big.
Well known.
Yes. Okay, when you put 26 artists in a museum, that's huge.
That's an achievement.
Exactly. But it's not me who did that. Yes, I paved the way. I came up with the idea. I spoke to some people. I put the idea forth. But if they weren't worthy, they wouldn't be in. That's the main thing. So my job is, if I see somebody is worthy and I see a place where they're worthy to be, is to make that happen. But I can't put an unworthy person in that position because, you know, they need to work on their art. So some people don't understand that concept. They think that, oh, you know, because I'm friends with Elio, I put him in a museum. That doesn't work this way. You know, just because you're my friend doesn't mean you can get in. You have to have the basics. You have to have the, you know,
there are many barriers to overcome. And also, even if someone tries to push a shallow art, it doesn't last.
It doesn't last. But here's what I do, because again, it's not, I don't want people to misunderstand, I only deal with, you know, a certain level of, no. And sometimes I like something people don't like, that's fine. But if I deal with shallow art, as you call it, or decorative art, or whatever you want to call, sometimes, if I'm not asked, I don't say anything. But if people ask my opinion, I tell them. And I guide them as to how to improve, to get to a point where it's now worthy to do, let's say, an exhibition, or worthy to talk to a gallery. And I've put a lot of artists in galleries where I don't own a gallery, and there's nothing coming to me from this.
From your experience, normally the results that you mentioned, not only economical results, about the recognition, I want to ask you, to yourself, these three pillars you're in your life, how does this fill Dr. Tony inside?
Before I answer that, I have to correct one thing.
Yes.
It's not three pillars. There's a fourth one.
Which is?
Family.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. So it's not like I live my life in those three places, and
Okay.
family is as big as those, if not bigger, and I'm capable of doing this. So if it wasn't for the support of the family, be it my wife, my son and daughter, and my parents, etc., I wouldn't be doing this. So those four pillars, yes, they're huge, and I use them to the max. And I would love that everybody does the same thing. Now, what are my expectations? Let me tell you something. For me, if one artist moves up in the world of art, meaning in terms of their name being recognized,
Okay.
as opposed to not being recognized before, or if they're super famous, let's say, for them to get an additional benefit of maybe exposing their art in this way, or maybe making a sale or whatever, then I've done my job.
Okay.
So when I do it at this large scale and people move up, I go and sleep and I'm very happy.
You're happy.
Finances are important for some artists. We can't deny that. But the aim of anything that I've done is not financial.
Yes.
I never leave them in the dark, meaning artists always come up winners with me because I will support them myself if, for example, there are no sales. It's not the end of the world. But I know that by a certain number of months or weeks or whatever, they'll be very happy.
Okay. So a lot of success in your exhibition, this collective. It will happen.
Yes, it's happening.
We're recording this before the event. Okay. Just to remind everyone, it starts on
February 22nd
at the
7 p.m. at the Ritz-Carlton DIFC in Dubai.
in Dubai, and will stay for a whole 30
For a
days.
month, hopefully maybe extendable if they like it. I don't know. But I know that it's for a month at least.
I recommend not to miss that for anything. If you're in Dubai or any country close to that, come and watch that. You will see 60 amazing artworks curated by Dr. Tony.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I
Elio.
enjoyed immensely this talk with you, and it's the first of many that will come.
I hope so.
Thank you, and see you soon.
Thank you.